Sleeping Dogs. I honestly thought this was like another Grand Theft Auto clone, so I never even bothered to give the game a fair shot. But many of my friends are telling me it's pretty good, but they never explained to me why. So I finally bought the game to finally experience what the hell the commotion is all about. Well, the thing is that decision happened like 6 years ago. I got it when it was like $5 on Steam, and believe me, I had every intention of playing it, but I mistakenly played the other games I bought from that Steam summer sale, which subsequently led me to forget that I even bought this game in the first place. Like, isn't that funny? We have titles in our Steam library that we probably haven't played at all, but somehow it ends up in our account. Like, you probably got it as a part of a Humble Bundle deal and forgot about it. And then you're wondering, how the hell did this title even end up on my library? Okay, anyways, I'm getting off topic. What were we talking about? Oh yeah, Sleeping Dogs. If it's not obvious, I'm gonna go into spoiler territory, so if you don't want to get spoiled by the amazing story of this game, just click off right now and go play it. On the surface, this might look like a GTA clone, but it's more than that. GTA was the one that pioneered the formula, so people can't help comparing Sleeping Dogs to Grand Theft Auto. I ain't gonna lie, I thought it was a GTA but in Hong Kong, so what makes this so special and stand out compared to GTA? The first cool part that really hooked me instantly was the story. I like that you play as an undercover cop named Wei Shen, set in the city of Hong Kong, and you try to take down the triads that were somehow affiliated with your sister's murder. I mean, the fact that it's an undercover story is just a fresh new perspective that I personally haven't experienced yet, so it's nice to switch up from being a criminal in these games to playing as the supposed good guy, which is the cop, right? I have never played as an undercover cop before, so this is all exciting to me. I played a cop in LA Noire, but you weren't really undercover in that game, so I personally wouldn't count it. Playing as a cop has added this overall suspense in the game that I wasn't used to. I mean, we all know what happens when they find out you're a cop. Like, they really emphasize that in the beginning of the game. So you're always on guard because there's always this looming threat in every interaction that you have. Every long silence I experienced had me shitting my pants because I'm thinking, oh god, my cover's blown and now they're gonna blow my brains out. So I kind of like that every cutscene, I'm always concerned about my survival and wondering if my cover is actually blown. Even though you're an undercover cop trying to pretend to be a triad member, you still have to engage in some law enforcement missions. So this game becomes a cool balancing act where you kind of have to maintain your gangster persona as well as engaging in some law enforcement missions. So essentially what you're doing is playing two games at once, which to me sounds like twice the value, so sign me up. But what makes the law enforcement mission so interesting is that there's this guy named Thomas Pendrew, and this guy is always breathing down your neck for results and doesn't care what happens to anyone, not even the civilians. If there's any casualties, well, so be it. The ends justify the means. So not only do you have to worry about your gangster persona, but you also have to worry about your boss, threatening to take you off the case if you just mess up even once. So to say the story really had me hooked would be an understatement. I was really invested because I felt like I was Wei Shen, and I'm not trying to get killed by the triad, you know what I mean? So I was really glued to my seat trying to figure out what's gonna be next for our main character. As far as gameplay, I was pleasantly surprised how good it was. Everything from the fighting, driving, gunplay, and even some of the cool mini-games were awesome. Fighting goons in this game is so fun. There's different combos you can utilize to dispatch your opponents in brutal, but yet satisfying ways. Instead of repeatedly mashing the same button, this game made me excited to dish out some ass whooping by giving you a hefty amount of combos you can memorize to dispatch your enemies. This combo system made the combat so much more engaging than just the standard button mashing that I would do in GTA or something. Another plus about the gameplay is the brutal environmental takedowns you can do while you're in a street fight. Every mission you do, there's always some interactable object in the environment that'll give you some gruesome takedown that makes it pretty cool to look at, but makes you sick to your stomach and possibly question your life decisions up to this point. But nonetheless, the environmental takedowns in this game is pretty cool. For me, it added to the overall experience, so I'm glad it's there. I just love going up to the level and seeing how creative the developers get with some of their brutal executions. Driving this game was not as bad. It took some time to get used to, but they really make it pretty easy to drift in the game. Vehicles that shouldn't be able to drift in real life gets really fun to drift in the game. Like, go around in a van or truck and just start drifting. It's the funniest thing I've ever seen that's so unrealistic, it really makes the game overall pretty fun as hell. They managed to give you a radio station that has classical music, and as a former band kid from high school, I really appreciate that so much. So not only do I get to go around drifting the streets, sometimes I get hit with some random nostalgia every time I tune into the classical radio station. Not only that, some of the music they've chosen in this classical section is pretty hype. Like, I could see myself lifting to it in the gym. But if you think this is some obscure music, no, you probably heard of these classical music at some point, so you guys will probably feel culture for having heard it before. Hold on, wait, I'm kind of getting off topic. What were we talking about? Oh yeah, we're talking about the driving, aren't we? Anyways, another cool part about driving is you can do this Vin Diesel maneuver where you jump out of your burning vehicle to another. When the game taught me how to do this at first, I was baffled. So if this was in GTA and your car is about to explode, what you would usually do is jump out of your car, shoot the driver of some other random vehicle and get in his car, or what you would do is just kind of pit maneuver a car in front of you and then steal that car. But in this game, you don't have to do that. What the game lets you do is have your character jump out of the car, Fast and Furious style, and hijack a vehicle in the middle of a high-speed chase. That is sick as fuck. Not only is this gameplay mechanic so satisfying, it's very convenient. Like, I don't have to waste time trying to run some guy off the road and take his car. I can just jump off my car and just take someone else's car. The over-the-top action just keeps getting better when you add the gunplay into the mix. This game not only has kick-ass martial arts system and high-speed acrobats with your car, but the gunplay is also a highlight of this game. It is so fun, you can't help feeling like John Wick every time the level gives you a pistol. So whenever there is this gunfight sequence, every time you exit a cover, you activate bullet time and allows you to headshot everyone in the room. And it's pretty generous. It gives you a substantial amount of time to click heads and plan your next move. I'm pretty sure this is how John Wick does it all in his head, but us mere mortals don't do that, so this game gives you a very extensive bullet time. When the game isn't having you do high stakes action, you could get lost in the city of Hong Kong and just be a regular guy. There's so much stuff to do. You can perform drug busts in the city since, you know, you're an undercover cop. And to do this, it's a cool multi-step mission that gets you very involved in the drug bust. So what you would do first is you would have to take out the goons surrounding the camera, then hack the camera, and then once everything's set in place, you have to go back to your house and watch the live camera feed and find out who the drug dealer is. I have no idea how this mechanic works. All I know is if the guy has a suit, he's probably the dealer. And so far, every mission I've done with this has been a success, so I think I'm onto something. If that doesn't sound intriguing to you, maybe dating a lot of women in this game will. Throughout the game, you have many opportunities to date many women. As someone who gets multiple women DMing him for dates, I really resonated with the main character and his struggles of dating. Alright, I'm lying. But the missions are nice, change of pace from the action. You get to see what Wei Shen is like when he's not seeking revenge or some shit like he's Kratos. But the game shows you he's just a normal guy that sometimes wants to have fun and go on dates with women. There's also smaller mini games like lockpicking and safe cracking, but my most favorite mini game is when you have to implant a bug in someone's house. They have you do this very interactive mini game where you have to manually unscrew the vent, calibrate the bug, then rescrew the vent, and leave before the timer expires. Usually many people would think this is tedious, but I found it very engaging in a way that made me feel more involved in the mission since I'm stimulated in this alleged task. But let's not forget the important mini game that made me fall in love with this game. This game has karaoke. It's no surprise, if you see my name, you could probably guess that I'm Filipino. So if I see any form of karaoke in a video game, and as many of you know, Filipinos really love karaoke. So just imagine how excited I got when I found out there's karaoke in this game. I'll be honest, it's not the best or something worth buying the game over, but it's just the freedom to do anything in this game that I've never experienced before. And I had that feeling I had when I was a kid where there's so many opportunities to just explore and discover what you can do in the game. Like if you wanted to neglect your real life and just play this game, you really could. Like you could even eat in this game. Like that's how they handle the perks in this game with eating, which makes sense, you know, because food is energy. But there's just so many things to do in the city, you could really get lost in the game with the vast amount of stuff they have you do. I also appreciate how they handle the collectibles in the game. It's literally a strobing bright light that is really hard to miss. As someone who likes to occasionally 100% some games, they make it really easy to find the collectibles, which I can really appreciate because I got other stuff to do, like playing Clash of Clans or something. But this is a nice feature that definitely makes your gameplay a lot easier. Running in this game isn't a pain in the ass either. They actually let you run as long as you want and as far as you want. I hate it when I'm playing open world games and your character just runs out of stamina. Like, I understand it's supposed to simulate some form of realism, but this is a video game. Like, I don't have good cardio in real life and I don't want a reminder that my character does too. Like, if I see my character in a tripod position, wheezing, it just ends up being more inconvenient for me and just bugs me. Overall, I do think this game is definitely worth a try if you haven't already. During the Steam sales, this game can get as low as $5, so definitely buy it because it's a great title you guys should consider playing. As someone who is a fan of the over-the-top action and martial arts, this game really resonated with me and I hope it does the same for you. So consider buying this game, please, so they make another Sleeping Dogs. Like, I'm eagerly waiting for that now, and I understand why people are so hyped when they hear the name Sleeping Dogs. Well, anyways guys, that's all I have for you today. I'll see you guys on the next one.